able to spot a transplant from literally a mile away. FE, DHI, implanter pens, pre-made incisions, DHT method implanted in the frontal row of the hairline. Like a feeling of success after all these years trying all these useless treatments. How to choose the best clinic for you. Using natural products. I've been there, I've done it. If you want to go a natural route, just shave it all off, move on with life. What is your plan B? What you gonna do? If there's gonna be no growth, your donor gonna be destroyed, or both? What you gonna do?
So basically, he got this hair transplant to stop the receding and make his hair more full and...
No, hair transplant does not stop the further receding. Whether you get a transplant or not, your male pattern baldness will continue. Welcome back. This another amazing live stream on my channel. If you're new here, guys, my name is Rolandas. I had 3 hair transplants now this time, at this stage already, with Dr. Bruno Pereira in Portugal. In total, I had over 7,000 grafts, 7,700 grafts, something around these numbers, and I was Norwood 5A. So, yeah, in case you haven't seen me, that's basically my stats. Currently, I'm I think around 5 months after my 3rd transplant, so it was a small touch-up. And whatever you see, it's basically the results of the last 2 transplants. And what we're gonna do in this amazing live stream, we're gonna be analyzing some of the cases. So I've asked you guys to send me some pictures if you want me to assess your case, whether it's a hair loss or hair transplant related. Whether you're thinking to get a transplant done, at a certain clinic or what have you, or whether you have specific hair loss and you want to find out what you can do about it. You're in the right place, basically. And just to remind, I got quite a few responses, so that's quite a few things to analyze and go through. But that being said, I think there might be a little bit of time left to go through some more. So if you still haven't managed to send me an email with your pictures, please feel free to do it. And just an FYI, I don't think I will be able to blur at this stage your face, but I will try my best. Nonetheless, welcome back everyone, whoever has here been before. First of all, as always, can you please let me know in the chat how does my microphone sound, and most importantly, how does the music sound, because I don't hear the music for, well, whatever reason. But I'm just wondering if it's not too loud, if it's just about the right balance with my microphone sound. And while we're waiting for some guys to get live, I think it's just gonna choose maybe some people already to have a look, basically, at the results. I'll be honest, I didn't go through pictures or anything really, or any emails. I just quickly checked whether I need to quickly blur any of the faces, and I did so for a few people. But yeah, got some pictures, and I think while we're waiting for some of you, let's just get right into it, and I will share some of it. Bear with me uno secunda. Yep, there you go. So that's a guy called okay, I'm not gonna pronounce it correctly. Nabil, perhaps that's maybe the right way. Anyways, he sent a couple of pictures, and let me maybe open his email just to see what exactly he wrote. Cool. So he wrote, I did a hair transplant from Turkey. The clinic name is Elite Hair Turkey. Exactly 6 months back, they did 4,000 grafts on my upper head and told me to not use minoxidil finasteride after a hair transplant. Bad advice. But my results are very slow. I'm also planning to take a second, to get a second hair transplant next year for front hairline. I'm watching my before and after images, attaching with this email, and then follow-up questions. Should I start taking minoxidil finasteride for a better result for my transplanted hair growth, or should I be more patient and wait 12 to 18 months growth phase for a final result? I'm only taking my next transplant from a different clinic. Also, please suggest me a good clinic too. Also, should I do any other post-hair care now to improve my hair growth? There you go. Well, that was a question, Nabil. Hopefully I pronounced your name correctly. So, first things first. Should you get they advise not to take any medication. This is absolutely terrible advice. I understand there's some time after the surgery when you shouldn't really be applying any topical products like, topical minoxidil or topical finasteride for that case. And that's, usually varies from clinic to clinic, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, it depends. But outright stop everything, just a stupid idea. I'll tell you the secret why, because they probably just want you as a, repeat customer, unfortunately. So what they want is for you to lose more hair, so you're gonna come back, get another surgery, more business for them. They really don't care about, your well-being. So that's sad reality. And by the way, if you haven't watched my previous video I've posted yesterday, I believe, I did an interview with Dr. Mirsano, both doctors, and Melvin as well, and we discussed the current state of the hair transplant industry, and that the good doctors, they don't want to, repair this, because the amount of people that are getting destroyed with these bad clinics is really bad. So yeah, look, but 6 months, it's still early, so I'm just gonna jump into the in your pictures in a second. I'm just gonna read quickly through the chat. So we got Rohan. Okay, I'll be first commenter. Good evening. Well, good evening to you, sir. May, I think I know where you are from. Is that a call-in show? It is not a call-in show. And I know why you're trying to call in, because you're calling another show called The Bold Truth, which is that's not what we do here. Anyways, what's the topic of the session? We're going to be talking about or analyzing cases. Some people send me pictures, so I'm just going to be looking through it and give my thoughts. Plus Q&A, essentially. If you got any questions, hair transplants or hair loss related, shoot. More than happy to answer. Not terrible advice to all men. Eugenics do not advise minoxidil, not calling Bold Truth anymore. Okay, May, you can reply with all the insights you have, but I'm gonna go back to you later on. For now, we need to focus on our subject matter. So, Nabil, Okay, let's see. So what do I see right off the bat? It's a very severe hair loss. Basically, it looks like a Norwood 6. Why Norwood 6? Because it goes all the way here down to the crown. It doesn't drop any further to Norwood 7. Even from this angle, you kind of, well, I can kind of already tell that it doesn't drop that low. And why it's Norwood 6 and not Norwood 5 in this case is because the crown is expanding. So in this case, right here, it goes quite, to the left and right quite a bit. So it's a big crown and obviously goes well over, all the way to the front. So I can see visible thinning all around so-called Norwood 6 area. I'm not sure, you never mentioned how old you are, but I've got somewhat of a good news that, if you have a very clear Norwood 6 pattern, so again, maybe different picture gonna say different story, but from this angle, what I see is very thick, kind of strong defined area between, thinning and non-thinning basically zones. So that's thinning, that's non-thinning. And which tells me basically that it's more likely than not your last Norwood level stage or baldness stage basically gonna be this. So if you manage to control it with the medication and cover it with a transplant, you know what? Might be just about right. If that being said, if you got enough donor reserves for the transplant. There you go, another picture. Yeah, so it dropped quite a bit, but not, to be fair, from this angle looks a bit worse, but still not Norwood 7. Norwood 7 will be even lower, and generally the donor is so small in Norwood 7 and there's barely anything to take from. So yeah, that's a good strong Norwood 6. So that's your pre-operative picture. I'm just thinking, did it get any worse in terms of crown? Did it drop any lower? Chat, what do you think? Anyone? Sergey, Colin May. It's not a Colin show, guys. Yeah, it looks about right, but the thing is that you have you had a lot of hair, native hair, before the transplant. So all of this here all around going all the way to the front to the hairline, this is the hair you absolutely should try and save as much as possible, because if you're not, you're gonna lose it. Basically everything that's maybe from this picture, everything within this area, everything is just gonna go walking sideways sooner than later. So the advice that the clinic suggested to you is not to take any finasteride or minoxidil is particularly terrible, because the goal is to basically save as much of native hair as possible and stabilize obviously hair loss, and then throw in a transplant just to cover remaining thinning areas. Call it a day. So that's the ideal plan. So what again, I'm not a doctor, and you should go and speak to a doctor. And when I'm saying doctor, I'm not talking about your hair transplant doctor, if there's any in that clinic to begin with, but like a dermatologist or anyone who can prescribe you hair loss medications, because it's more likely than not they will advise actually to jump at least on finasteride. So finasteride the way it works, it's basically preventing DHT from attacking hair follicles. So basically kind of stopping or dramatically slowing down the further progression of your hair loss. So basically put a stop to it. Some people are regrowing quite a bit of hair on finasteride as well, but it's not going to be working this way for everyone. So as a standard baseline, it should at least stop or drastically slow down your hair loss to the point that you're not going to see any hair fall, moving forward. And that's what you want, essentially. That's the step number one. That's the most important drug on the market currently, and the only one, unfortunately, that works so well, incredibly well, for vast majority of people, and so does that. Minoxidil, when it comes to minoxidil, it's a great second treatment. Minoxidil does not stop further progression of hair loss, unfortunately. However, minoxidil thickens up your existing thin hair. So if you have loads of, I can clearly see loads and loads of thin miniature hair, all of this hair could have been thickened up to the point, and to be honest, my opinion, if you would, I'm not sure if you've done these medications before, but if you would try finasteride and minoxidil before undergoing your first transplant, I would believe you would have so much more hair, thicker, and maybe, just throwing out there, maybe you would not even want a transplant in the first place. Because, look, my rationale is this. You got with minoxidil usually gives a massive boost too. So every little tiny thin hair that sometimes can be even transparent usually becomes thicker, grows longer, darker, and stuff like that. So, and since you have loads of them, all of it could have been covered. And then maybe just a little bit of hair fibers, and that's it. You're ready for the day. So you could have potentially avoided the transplant to begin with. That's why a lot of the best surgeons in the world, they always advise, get on finasteride, get on minoxidil at least 6 to 12 months before even thinking about surgery, because you need to, you need to see what can be done non-surgically. So yeah, and when it comes to transplant itself, so obviously difficult to judge from these pictures. There is no any pictures before the transplant. And if you're currently live, by the way, feel free to just send me some of the more pictures if you got immediately after the surgery, for example, and just drop me in the chat message so I'll know that you've done it. But yeah, crown. That my only concern is with the transplant that, well, again, picture quality is not great, but it looks like I don't see any whorl. The natural. I don't know how I can't show it right now, but like 99% of people will gonna have some whorl in the crown. The hair is basically growing in like a circular kind of pattern in different directions. Usually gonna have on the left or on the right side. I don't see any in your case. So basically, oh, okay, there you go. Actually, you had two. You had two whorls. You see here, from here goes to the left, and then here one goes to the right. So that's your native hair before transplant. So that's basically what they should have done. They should have tried and recreate these angles when they're implanting the grafts and try to mimic as best as they can, essentially, to your native hair. Currently, it doesn't look like, to be honest, it looks like it's just implanted from here straight up and forward. Yeah, and it looks somewhat of like a disconnect. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe just pictures like that, but it looks like a disconnect. This hair, native hair, grows down, and this hair, immediately from here, you can literally draw the line that kind of grows up. Which is, yeah, not, top of the line work, unfortunately. But again, crown is not that bad. Usually the worst part of the bad transplants is the hairline. Because the hairline, that's the place where everyone sees you, as well as you see yourself on a daily basis. So that's the area you absolutely must ensure it looks as natural as possible. Crown is not, probably nobody gonna ever notice. So that's, that's that. So look, hopefully I've, answered your questions. Let me just double check the email just to make sure I didn't miss anything. So yeah, I mentioned to get on finasteride and minoxidil, and yeah, if jump on those and see how well you react, how well you tolerate the medications, and stay the course. Keep using it for the next look, my personal opinion, use it for at least 12 months. Because look, according to the studies, the best efficacy from finasteride, you can experience more results from finasteride up to 2 years after starting it. So basically, the first year you're gonna see lots of results. Second year you can experience possibly even more. And minoxidil usually within the first year before it kind of plateaus. So yeah, at least 1 year and see how it goes. You might not need even a second transplant. Again, there's no pictures of your hairline from certain angle. Let me just share this. Yeah, so from this, for example, angle, I can see it's thinned out quite a bit, that you can kind of see through the scalp from this angle. But again, I believe you have, if you went for a crown as a first transplant instead of the hairline, it's likely you have quite a lot of hair in there already. So definitely try a medication, and I have a good feeling you might even be able to avoid the second transplant, begin with. So you're preserving your donor, and saving money, essentially. So that's that. So look, hopefully that was useful and helpful. And let me just go back to the chat. What's up, Sergey? Long time no see. This guy was a subscriber since I had like maybe 200-300 subscribers or something like that. Crazy guy. Now I've got, I don't even know how many I have. Probably just a different angle. We'll get lower. Oh, Sergey, you're thinking about the third transplant. What? Why? I remember this guy because initially I saw him in some other YouTube channel. He was commenting under some video, asking some very basic level questions, trying to find which clinic to go to. I think I'm gonna be telling the story forever. It's just so funny. And then I just replied to his comment like, look, don't rush, you know, be careful, research more. They gave him some information, what to look for and stuff like that. And then he went to my channel and he started researching because at that moment I've been posting a lot of, you know, like educational videos on what to look for and stuff like that. And yeah, stick around. And as far as I know, as far as I remember, he went to some good doctor. Twice, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, good for you, man. You potentially avoided a really bad transplant. Chances are low, but never zero. It's true. Okay, this guy's just chatting with each other. So let's leave them to it. Okay, so that was Nabil. Let's go into what other email I have. Let's see. Got a guy named Louis. Louis. Let me see what pictures I got. Alright. So, that's a guy called Louis. Let me just open his email quickly. So, Louis says, I'm 7 months after my touch-up surgery of 900 grafts. I had done 2000 grafts before. I was normal 3. What? Normal 3? Pardon my language. Can I still expect growth? My right temple isn't that dense compared to the left one. There are some smaller, more wispy hairs. Thanks a lot. I will also include 2 wet hair pictures. Right. So I had 900 graft touch-up. I don't know before. So 2,900 grafts overall, or in within Norwood 3. Yeah, that sounds about right. Usually, just baseline. Every Norwood level up 1,000 grafts. Or that's what I say at least. Right. Yeah, I just was, you know, shocked a little bit because that looks great, you know, from far away already. It doesn't look. My honest opinion, if I would be just a random guy on the street and someone just pulled hair like this, I would never think he has hair loss. That's it. It looks great. It's not perfect, but it looks great. Because, you know, the hairless or people with no baldness essentially in the very front, like just super thick while still being like a lot of thin single grafts, you know. So I can, you know, tell that's a transplant, but it looks pretty good, not gonna lie. You know, there's obviously, if you're really trying to be nitpicky, there's a few, you know, doubles, probably maybe even triples here and there. That's double, that's double, that's double, this double, that's double as well. But again, it's, you know, as long as there's just a few, you know, multi-hair units in the hairline, not just the whole hairline reconstructed with the multi grafts, it's not a big deal, to be honest, because again, people not really gonna notice. As long as the vast majority is done correctly. And hair angles. So from this picture, obviously difficult to judge the hair angles themselves. Just get bigger here. But yeah, I like the fact that it has quite a few micro irregularities. So you cannot like draw a line. You know what I mean? Like in some of those cheap, you know, clinics that couldn't care less how they, you know, doing your surgery. They just implant in rows. One line, that's it. You know, that's not obviously great. And in this case, you can kind of see, you know, it's some randomness, quite a bit actually. So I like that. That looks, you know, creates more of this natural, you know, appearance there. So that's great. Yeah, I like this angle. Oh, it looks great. Look, not gonna lie, again, a couple of doubles here, but it's not a big deal. I would like to see the implantation angles because from here it looks like they're growing up. But that being said, it looks this way just because, you know, just pulling the hair out. Yeah, let me see. Wet hair. Well, with the wet hair is always gonna look a bit thicker some areas, so that's fine. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad, to be honest. No, it looks great. I mean, looks amazing. Who I'm kidding? Guys, what do you think? It's, you know, to me it looks great. Like, Like I said, if someone would be on the street, I was just passing by, would never probably think he has a, you know, hair loss, hair transplant. Looks great. You literally need to like analyze it from like that to identify that, oh look, that's actually a transplant. Is it just me, or with the wet hair it looks even thicker? Yeah, maybe. Well, I'm just bunching up, I guess. Yeah, there you go, another double. Yeah, quite a bit of them. But again, these doubles, even they're not really standing out anyways. Actually, it's a perfect example. So I can guarantee. So his temple peaks were not done with the transplant, right? And if you look closer, the temple peaks here, look how soft they are. Like this single, very thin, some of them kind of transparent, creates this very nice and soft kind of, you know, outline. You cannot, again, draw the line clearly, so it's just microcolor stuff. It looks very natural. And compare this area immediately, you can tell right away all of these hairs, they're somewhat thicker. Even the single grafts, they're, you know, thicker than in this area. So that's telltale sign essentially that it's transplant, just because, you know, it's difficult to, you know, to find these super fine single hairs. Usually they're taking it from the down of the nape of the neck and stuff like that, just to implant in the very front. But again, it's usually going to be a bit thicker. But I'm absolutely just nitpicking. It looks incredible. And I think that's about it. Let me just go back to the email. I know why he was complaining. I mean, it looks great. 7 months touch-up surgery of 900 grafts. I had done 2000 before. No, 3. Can I still expect growth? Okay, so since you're 7 months, yes, you will get some more growth, but not much in terms of new hair sprouting through. From my experience, you already have about probably 89% of the hairs should have been already, you know, came out through the skin. But what you will see at this stage, or moving forward, let's say, is the hair becoming thicker, becoming longer, you know, a bit more apparent that is there, and overall contributing to more illusion of density, because, you know, that's what the transplants are, illusion of density. My right temple isn't as dense compared to my left one. So right temple, I assume that's your right temple. Hold on, am I still sharing? Yeah, so I assume that's your right temple. I think you're just nitpicking, mate. It looks great both ways. Yeah, you can see some of the hairs are still growing. No, man, it looks great. I don't know, I mean, look, you're probably the only person who sees that it's thinner left than, or right than left. No, man, looks amazing. Congratulations on a really good transplant. Well done. If you're currently in the chat, can you let us know where did you go? I'm just curious, because it looks pretty decent. Doesn't look too bad. Yeah, looks nice. Looks really good. Let me just see quickly in the chat. What should I do at 15 with hair loss balding? God damn it. Hey, Sky Kai. Nice name. At 15, well, first of all, go see a doctor. I mean, male pattern baldness usually doesn't start when you're 15. So you might have like overall shedding, you might have like a telogen effluvium, chronic telogen effluvium or stuff like that, maybe some, you know, deficiencies causing this. So definitely go see a doctor, maybe do some blood work, see what's up. Maybe you were deficient in vitamin D, for example, which is pretty common, believe it or not, or iron, or any other, you know, disbalances maybe you have in the hormonal panel. So I would suggest check all of those first and foremost. And of course, it's a good idea to see maybe a dermatologist who is, well, who knows what they're doing. Apparently not all the dermatologists are great nowadays, unfortunately, but like they could assess, for example, your, you know, temples, because if it's standard male pattern baldness, that usually starts from the hairline or, you know, the crown. Because if you look at the Norwood-Hamilton chart of hair loss, starts from like Norwood 2. Norwood 2 is literally a slight recession here, then Norwood 3 goes deeper recession, then Norwood 3V, which is deeper recession plus some recession in the hairline, in the crown, in the whorl. So if these areas could be looked through, ideally with a, you know, microscope, you can kind of clearly see whether there's any miniaturization or active miniaturization happening or not. So technically speaking, you can you can see your future hair loss, or like near, I would say the upcoming close future. Well, I don't know what's the correct term. I'm not English. Like whatever is gonna happen next, 3 to 5 years, for example, you can kind of spot it somewhat early, because you will be able to see that the difference between some of the hairs that are not miniaturizing versus the one that are. So yeah, and that's actually a really good way to be proactive if you really care about your hair, and for whatever reason you already learned a lot about it. That's a good way to just to analyze it. Just get a microscope and just go through and see what's up. But yeah, go to a doctor, see what's up, because it's very likely you just have you're deficient in something. And if not, unfortunately, finasteride usually is not a good case for teenagers, so it's best the only really thing you can use is minoxidil. You can pair minoxidil with microneedling, for example, which is usually gives much better results, to be honest, as well. So that's about it. I wouldn't bother with any other nonsense bullshit that you can see some rosemary oil and stuff like that, especially on TikTok. So don't waste your time. Get straight on minoxidil, because it's like this thing actually works. And that's it. And then when it comes to finasteride, it really depends on person to person, or doctors as well. It usually they start prescribing normally from like when you're 18 and above, because essentially DHT is required in teenage years to mature and grow and go through puberty properly. So you don't want to suppress your DHT levels all the way down at this age, and that's why it's not recommended really. So that's that. And by the way, yeah, so hopefully that was helpful for Lewis as well. Just go quickly to chat. May and Sergey just keep going at it. And if I'm not mistaken, you both speak Russian language, no? why do you speak in English still? Anyways, May, it is for Mr. Rolandas. How dare you? My name is Rolandas, not Rolandus. Okay. Anyways, my friend, the biggest mystery for us is that we want to know what caused such a good results of yours. Hair transplant mostly, or minoxidil played a big role? Well, hair transplant. Look, I had 2 successful. Well, to be fair, I started oral minoxidil after my second transplant, but my first transplant was extremely successful as well. So for those who doesn't know, I was like totally bald. Didn't have any hair in the very front, a little bit towards mid scalp and crown. As a matter of fact, while we're speaking about me, I'm just maybe gonna show some pictures. You might be a lot of people who are new here. By the way, this live stream feels a bit weak. Probably not the best day, middle of the week or beginning of the week, Tuesday. Usually I'm doing live streams on like Friday, Saturday, and I've got quite many more people. Alright, let me just go maybe to some... let me share you some of these pictures. That was me. Hello. Look at this dude. Look at this. What is that? What the hell is this? Yeah. Norwood 5A, so called. Let me maybe show some better pictures. Something like that. So that was, again, so before first transplant, I was growing my hair super long. So as you can tell, basically I grew all the way from like end of the crown, where the hair was somewhat, thicker and stronger. I was growing much longer, brushing it forward and putting a lot of hairspray and calling it a day. Yeah, that was very stupid of me, but here we are. I don't know how I was living my life like that. And speaking of which, I might show the picture how I looked. There you go. That's that's Norwood 5A. Looks great, isn't it? I think I've been doing a really good job with loads of hairspray. So essentially, yeah, just coming from all the way back to the front. Like, look how long this hair is. It's like literally all the way from back to the front. It's crazy. And I was putting so much hairspray that it becomes like a rock. So it literally didn't move. However, if there is a huge wind, as soon as it just blows, it just the whole lights up. Total misery. Do not recommend. Trust me, it's better to shave it off than being like this. Yeah, total misery. Thinking back, What is the top view? Oh, there you go. That's probably one of the better examples. And to be fair, here I still had quite a bit because I was using Topical Minoxidil, and then I stopped it and I lost a lot of gain. So technically speaking, all of this area was so much bolder. So that just proves my point that I mentioned earlier to Nabil, that it's a really good idea to, you know, get on Minoxidil. It's like sometimes it can really do wonders. All of these hairs were just pretty much non. Actually, let me show you a picture after my second transplant, or just before my second transplant. That was more clear because I've stopped topical minoxidil here after my first transplant, and look how it looks now. So the crown and mid scalp, from, you know, this to this, big difference, right? And that's literally just minoxidil. So that was my baseline. From this, I went to this with minoxidil. So obviously with finasteride as well. So yeah, pretty bold. Really bold. That was me. That's literally again after my first transplant, growing my hair longer and just combing back instead of combing forwards. Still old habits. Yeah, that was not fun times. And that was me just before my third transplant. So that was already obviously looking great. You know, lots of hair. It's just this little tiny area of the crown that was not touched here at all in the, you know, during the first two transplants. So that's, yeah, that's what we've done. Very minor work, yeah, literally just here. So I'm currently waiting 5 months on it. Yeah. So, right, so that's me. If you want more, just go on my channel, see my videos. I've done plenty, documented everything from A to Z. Whatever you think of, you're probably gonna find it on my channel. So if you got any questions, just feel free, don't be shy, go there. I'm sure you're gonna find an answer you're looking for. So but just go here. And some more guys who send me an emails, give me 1 second. I'm gonna go into some more pictures, gonna quickly answer some questions in the chat. Just don't want people to hang around if they have a question. Maybe they're busy with something else. Just, you know, just trying to be considerate. Best Bay Area hair transplant doctor, Dr. John Deep. Please, just no, just no. I'm not gonna say anything else. Just no. I was Norwood 4, had 2 transplants, 2,200 first time, 2,000 second. Now I'm no longer on the Norwood scale after 4 months. Are you on like a negative Norwood? Norwood -5? Started growing hair all the way down? Just joking. Scale after 4 months, second procedure. Yeah, well, look, congrats. Like that's the goal. That's the goal, to become Norwood 1 again, or at least Norwood 2. Hey, I would be still happy with Norwood 3, to be honest, from where I'm coming from. Sergey, abandon the chat. You're not bald. Take your crown and live like a king. Yeah, nice one. Does finasteride or dutasteride really cause depression? I looked this up and it turns out that it is somewhat true. It is not somewhat true. It is true. It can cause. It doesn't cause. It's not like 100% everyone will be depressed. But it's a potential side effect, meaning that some people will experience. So when they do studies, they're doing like hundreds or thousands of people. They undergoing studies, some of them taking placebo, which is usually nothing, just sugar pill or whatever, and some of them taking actual medications. And over a certain period of time, they're checking whether they have any side effects, and some people reported depression as a side effect. Thus, they're putting on the labels that it can cause depression in this case. Worth noting though that some people who were taking a sugar pill, placebo, they also got side effect, which is depression. So, just food for thought. We can psych ourselves up into various things, and depression not necessarily going to be caused by medications. And this goes to anything really. The biggest side effect of finasteride that everyone's scared about is erectile dysfunction, ED, or that you cannot get hard or stay hard essentially. And people just blaming finasteride on everything. But again, even during the same studies, there were people that were taking placebo. They got the same erectile dysfunction. How do you answer that? Well, in my opinion, this is pretty simple. Our brain is very powerful, and you can literally psych yourself into having side effects. That's what a lot of people do. But also, again, these kind of things can happen due to a variety of reasons in life. So don't just, you know, if you notice something like that straight away, that's the medication. You know, look broadly what happened in your life. Maybe you changed something and stuff like that. And by the way, apologies, I have no clue how to read your name. But yeah, there you go. Hopefully that answered your question. Egon Suljic. Okay, long-time follower. Well, thanks so much. Welcome back. Mr. Rolandas, from what month after second hair transplant you started Minoxidil? Pretty much immediately. I started oral Minoxidil 6 days after my second transplant, I believe. Yeah, something like 6, 7, or maybe around those lines. Pretty much in the first couple of weeks, I've already started oral Minoxidil. If you want to have exact answers, just go on my channel, check my videos after my second transplant. I literally documented my first 2 weeks, day by day after my second transplant, basically talking about everything was happening during this period. And yeah, that's when I started, so go check this out. Did you take Minoxidil before first transplant? Yes, I already mentioned that. Topical Minoxidil. Sweet comb over. Yes, yes. Very sweet. Sif Punet Sif. Man, I'm really bad with names. Anyways, do we know the effects of DHT reduction on the lifespan? As of whether you're gonna decrease the amount of years you're gonna live or something like that? Not that I'm aware of. There's actually some evidence that is actually, you know, there's like some of the effects of finasteride, basically DHT reduction, might be actually a good thing for you. I'm not gonna be going into anything. So that's I'm gonna just stop right here because most of it is just, you know, hearsay. But I'm sure if you're gonna research, you're gonna, you know, find some data on this. But yeah, in terms of pure years of living, never heard anything about it. So it's very unlikely. If anything, look, you know, men as age, they tend to get, you know, enlarged prostate. So they get prescribed, funnily enough, by doctors to shrink that prostate as finasteride, but they take in a bigger dose. They taking up to like 5 milligram dose. So there are different pills. The brand name is Proscar, original one. They came in a 5 milligram pills. Now there's obviously generic, which are prescribed for, you know, prostate. So that's how actually they found out finasteride works for male baldness, because, oh look, they shrink the prostate, so, you know, it's easier for them essentially. But also look, they started growing hair. That's great. And that's why we have only 1 milligram, you know, dose of finasteride, because that's proven to be, you know, much safer and causing less side effects essentially, while still being efficacious. So yeah, that's that. Rolandas, I decided to go to Dr. Bruno. Basically, before any consultation, I just want to save money. Do you know about the cost per graft? So when I started, he was charging €2.5 a graft. Bad news, he's not charging this much anymore. Unfortunately, he got extremely popular, got extremely busy. He's like booked in 1 year in advance, give or take. And from what I've heard, he keeps increasing the prices. And I think his take on the whole business model is he gonna be increasing the prices until he gonna reach a certain amount of busyness, if it makes sense. I don't know what it is, maybe like a 1 year of pre-booked surgeries in advance. And that's it. So I'm not sure how much is charging currently, but something around €3.5, maybe €4 a graft, something like that. I don't know. It's been changing quite a bit recently. And I don't know, because for the last third transplant I didn't pay. He actually offered me the transplant for free, so it's the only reason actually I did it. I wasn't planning to get a third transplant, but yeah. Anyways, May, see you next time. And yeah, Rohan, hopefully that kind of answered your question. But when it comes to saving money, it's probably gonna be, well, I mean, realistically, if you want to save money, you just do, you know, your transplant the first time the right way. That's about it, because then you're not gonna be catching up, and that's where usually people, you know, wasting more money. I don't know if it's free information or not. Is it free? Information what? About his consultation or whatever? I know he's charging for consultation as well, if that's what you're asking, but yeah. Your opinion on mega sessions, Kenneth? Well, I think we need to define mega sessions. So, once upon a time, 20 years ago, a mega session was like 2,000-3,000 grafts. That was a mega session. Nowadays, that's a, you know, a common occurrence. Let's put it this way. So yeah, it's nothing unusual. Nowadays, mega session, probably like 7,000-8,000 grafts. That's what, you know, Dr. Zarev, Dr. Pitella, they're doing with their FEs, or with the, you know, some doctors with the FET, like Dr. Mursano, you know, the Hassan Wong and stuff like that. So yeah, nowadays mega session is like literally 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 grafts in one surgery. So it's gonna be during 2 days, but it's still one surgery. So that's yeah, that would consider a mega session. That's an brother push it. Actually, so I think I've been in the chat a bit too long. Let's go back to some pictures, so some more people send me some more. So next up we got a gentleman called, and I'm gonna butcher it again, I'm sorry in advance, Manoj, I don't know what language is this, Pragash, I don't know, I assume that's gonna be somewhere from Asian. Oh, actually, okay, yes, so that'll be somewhere from that part of the world. So, Manoj, I don't know how to say it, says, "Hi, I'm from Sri Lanka. I did hair transplant 1.5 years ago. It was 3,200 grafts for hair, 1,000 grafts for beard. I'm not satisfied." Actually, hold on, let me just try to see if I can safely... Yeah, there you go. Okay, it's cutting just about right. I'm not satisfied with the result. Cobblestone, pluggy look, no density. My hairline also is too low. Shit. This is my pictures after a hair transplant. My donor. Which option is good for second hair transplant? I mean, technique, FET or FU? Does it over harvest? Which cleaning best to repair? Okay, so first things first. That ties up really well. Surprising. To the video I've done, literally I posted yesterday, go check it out. It's like, look, it's such a common thing nowadays. People need repairs. They need to fix their first transplant because it was not done properly, because vast majority of clinics all over the world, they're not doing the transplant. They don't give a crap about patients. They just purely focusing on money, on how to get as many people as possible, as quickly as possible, and they're just trying to cut the costs, you know, whatever possible to make the prices go down, so attract more people. And that furious me, because it's just freaking nonsense. They just don't care about people anymore. And yeah, so my last video, you know, I posted just some snippets from a live stream with Melvin and Dr. Mursano. And that's actually is very powerful video. So if you haven't watched it, check it out. It's yeah, it's very powerful. But the bottom line is, they might even stop doing repairs. So now he's asking where to go to repair. Maybe none of the good doctors gonna repair it anymore. What you gonna do then? So yeah, be careful when you know researching transplants. Get it done the right way first time. Otherwise, it might be really bad. Anyways, going back to the pictures, so what we got here? Donor. So to me it looks like the whole donor is, the hair length, it specifically is kind of similar, isn't it? So if you look kind of here, the length of the hair is similar to this. So the only thing we can see that is visually different is obviously the amount of hair within the area. So that's quite thick, clearly not touched at all with the transplant, and this, the whole area here. So you can kind of see the outline. It goes all the way from here to here, and then the nape here, again, not touched. So it's thicker. Yeah, it's a clear sign of donor mismanagement. So essentially what they've done, what the mistake was, they took way too many grafts too close to each other, resulting in so-called moth-eaten look, which is visually lower density compared to other ones. Not just the density, if the density overall would go down, it wouldn't be that bad, but it looks very patchy, because for example here is thicker and then all around looks like a circle. thinner, so they just bombarding when they like extracting via FE method. Really sad. It literally makes me, you know, really mad, because essentially what this guy can do now, well, what can he do? He has to repair his donor because the hair is not gonna grow back. What do you do? So he can, well, there's a few things. He can homogenize, meaning he can extract from these areas carefully and implant around into these areas carefully, strategically, so overall it can have somewhat look even density wise, and obviously the pattern where it grows, where it doesn't grow. So in this case it would look somewhat normal, because right now it's just such a disconnect, and there's such a high density and there's such a low density here. It's just really, you know, looks bad. The immediate suggestion what I can offer is I just wonder how bad the scars themselves look like. For example, in my case, the scars are properly white, like they stand out from far away, but not everyone is like that. Maybe for him, the scars themselves from the FE, they're not going to be as visible. And if that's the case, I would try and do a high skin fade. Just go all the way down to the skin from the nape, all the way down to here, and then start blending in, essentially. You might be able to get away with this kind of hairstyle. It might not be looking that bad, to be honest, because currently, in my opinion, it looks worse. Or the very least, this area at the bottom, just shave it to the skin literally and make a nice blend, so it looks like there is somewhat of a transition from like a nothing to thin to thicker, and then here thin out this area. That's, you know, as far as it goes in terms of, you know, haircuts, just to make it look better. But yeah, really bad. Yeah, really bad. Let's see some other pictures. So I can assume that was his before. Man, look at this donor. It's just, of course, the hair is long, but it was so freaking thick. Shit. And it's a small area in the crown. It's not really that terrible, to be honest. Oh. Okay. So yeah, there you go. You can clearly see the line, and look, I just want to for you to pay attention. Look how thick. So his hair looks thicker on its own, and it's loads of it. Like, it's just so much hair in the donor, and then just look how they extract. Look, the whole patch here has no hairs. This whole area, no hair. This whole area, no hair. So it's just not been done carefully. Look here, there was like, you know, 4 hairs in like kind of in a line. They extracted like 2 or even 3 of them, and that's what. So it's just, this becomes a patch now. They should have taken one from here, leave 1 hair here, then they extract another one next to it, and then again leave some space around, just to make it carefully, taking a little bit all around, so it doesn't look, you know, patchy. Or like here, look, this whole area is just gonna be dead. Really disappointing. I hate seeing this kind of things. What's even the point of drawing lines if you have no idea what are you doing? Oh, look, I drew the line. I'm a doctor. Fuck, man. I swear, if someone would give me a punch, I would probably extract better. No, doctor. Sorry, and I feel like I already forgot what was his question, so let me just go back. Okay, so he had a hair transplant 1.5 years ago. Well, shit, it means there is no more further improvement. 3,200 grafts. Let's go back. Yeah, well, I guess it's possible, because at least they didn't go as far. But then again, that's why they had to, you know, they extracted so much from this small area. It looks so bad. And 1,000 from a beard. Well, we don't see any beard, but the beard generally is healing rather well, so that's a good thing. Not satisfied with the result. So we don't see in this picture cobblestoning. We don't see any pluggy look. Unfortunately, we just see the donor area. But yeah, man, donor looks terrible. So which option second? So in my opinion, so there is 2, FE, FET. Of course, you can go for FUT. And it's possible, I've done actually one of my recent videos as well, that even me after 7,700 grafts, I still can have a FET as well. It's just not gonna yield as much as it could have in the first place. But in your case, actually, let me just go back to the pictures. In your case, FUT is just, you know, it's probably not the best. the best thing you should do right now is just to try to I don't know, again, the hairline, maybe to try to make it look better, because ultimately the hairline is what people see, and that's the first thing that literally, you know, just catches your eye. And so try to fix that by extracting some of the grafts and then implanting maybe, you know, some singles all around to make it, like, you know, softer, maybe make some micro irregularities if it's too straight or stuff like that. So I cannot really comment because I cannot see. But the donor, what I would do is, well, again, depending on the beard, if the beard is great, you can extract from the beard and implant here in the patchy area. But in my opinion, the better thing to do is to extract from all of these areas. Again, have to confirm that it's not actively miniaturizing, so it's safe area. And just redistribute, essentially. Take a little bit from here, implant all around here, again, by a professional, good doctor. And this overall, this is gonna reduce density, this is gonna increase density. Overall, it might look just about right. So I think that's what I would do personally. Yeah, I mean, look, that's really sad. And of course, in the meantime, just try a haircut, like I mentioned. Doesn't really cost much, if anything. Just try to, yeah, buzz it down here to the skin. See how it looks. I'm very confident they're gonna look much better, and then you can make much shorter here. The barber really can, you know, make a big difference when it comes to hair. If the cut is right. So yeah, that was Mano. Hopefully that answered your question. And look, man, best of luck. Like I said, I'm always like really upset and feels really bad when I see this kind of things. But hey, you know, we all, you know, do mistakes, but at least you found, you know, my channel now. There's some other channels, great channels as well, that you can check it out. Just start researching, don't rush into it. And yeah, just make sure you go to the next doctor is gonna be the right one. I've seen in the chat the guy called, what is it? Luis Langa. Hey, what's up, man? So I just reacted to some pictures named Luis. So if that's you, you're late to the party, my friend. Late to the party. But the good news is, because it's live stream, it's recording, so you can go back and just check what I already mentioned. But all in all, in short, looks nice and sweet. Great transplant. Right, mega session, 5,000 grafts and more, called Giga session. Yeah, I guess. So just throwing these names, you know, left and right nowadays doesn't mean anything, is it? Jotawayan. Yeah, nice name. Hey Rolandas, so would you consider jumping to dutasterate or 5 mg oral minoxidil at some point? Maybe. Actually, it's a strong maybe for both of them, believe it or not. So, yes, if you're asking this question, you probably know that I'm currently taking finasteride 1 mg a day every day. And I've been taking every day for the last, what now, 5 years? 5 years, 6 years? It's been a while, I've already lost count. Yeah, I'm doing great, no side effects, and it seems like it's working okay. But again, I'm expecting at some point for efficacy to drop. So that's where dutasteride will come in place. As soon as I'm gonna see that, look, I need some more DHT reduction in my body, I'll probably try. I'll try dutasteride, and the way I'm gonna do it is it's not gonna just switch cold turkey from finasteride to dutasteride. What I will do is I'll slowly introduce the dose. So meaning, if I'm taking Monday to Sunday every day 1 mg of finasteride, instead of Monday taking finasteride, I will take dutasteride and then keep going with the finasteride for the rest of the week. And then maybe after a week or 2 weeks, maybe I'll even more, maybe after a month, because the dutasteride half-life is very long, so much longer than finasteride, so technically it can stay in your blood for weeks. So maybe after a few weeks, I will increase to 2 times a week. So it might be, let's say, Monday and Wednesday, or maybe realistically it's better Monday and Thursday, dutasteride, and then in between finasteride. And then probably the absolute maximum I would do is probably 3 times a week dutasteride, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then finasteride in between, or maybe at some point I will just stop finasteride altogether, because you don't really need to take a lot of dutasteride for it to be effective. It's it's on its own works much better than finasteride, and because it's a half-life, it's so much, you know, longer. You know, in some cases, it can stay in your body literally for, you know, a couple of months after stopping it. So yeah, I don't see the need to take it, you know, daily. But again, if my hair loss just goes sideways completely, just decided, you know, it's time to go, I'll, you know, probably will not hesitate to start, you know, using it every day. Hey, there is so the standard dose of detached rate is 0.5 milligrams a day. I know there's some people online, I don't know them personally, who are taking 2.5 milligrams of detached rate every freaking day. Think about it, 2.5 milligrams a day. It's not just gonna cost you a shitload of money, and the guy is taking Avodart, which is the brand name for detached rate, which is a bit more expensive. But yeah. But hey, look, that's, according to studies, been proven the best efficacious dose. It literally nukes your DHT to the ground level, essentially. So yeah. So that's the detached rate. When it comes to oral minoxidil, I'm a bit hesitant because, again, oral minoxidil is a bit more dangerous when it comes to side effects. You know, one of side effects, literally heart failure, you can die. So, you know, I'm not keen on that, of course. But that being said, I've been on oral minoxidil 2.5 milligrams for like 3 years, some even more probably now already, and it seems like I'm doing well. So I had, you know, some sort of side effects. I think some might be related side effects at one point earlier this year. And then I've done, you know, I went to GP, done extensive, tests and stuff like that, done the blood work, echocardiogram, you know, electrocardiogram, basically check the heart, check the lungs, check, you know, the blood work and stuff like that, check my pressure, blood pressure, stuff like that. Everything seemed to be normal, so there is no this fluid buildup around the heart, which is one of the serious, you know, side effects of oral minoxidil. So it seems like I'm doing okay. I don't know, after this episode the side effects didn't appear, so that's fine. So that's why I'm not, you know, keen to jump on 5 milligrams, because oral minoxidil, according to studies, is extremely dose dependent. The more you take, the better efficacy you're gonna experience, the more hair growth, but also the more side effects. So I'm doing well so far on 2.5 milligrams, and I'd rather keep it this way. But again, it's the same way. If I see I need it, I might try it. I mean, I'm pretty open to this, you know, idea, but definitely not more than 5 milligrams. I know some people that are just eating them like a candies, like 5 milligram a couple of times a day. Yeah, that will not be me. So there you go. Hope that answers your question. Sarvar, did you go to Turkey for hair transplant? No, I went to Portugal. Dr. Bruno Ferreira in Portugal. That's my line already. Keep saying it. So yeah, that's where I went. Mark Jones, do doctors report to the patients how many of you grafts were transected, ruined? I don't think that's a standard procedure, and to be honest, I don't think they're even like counting. Like, look, oh, I've counted like 15 or whatever. And in the best hands, because it's just a waste of time. I mean, the whole goal of transplant in good hands is to try and minimize it so this doesn't happen in the first place. So, you know, that's that. But look, if your doctor is really good and he actually sees these kind of things and he's paying attention, and you're some of a nerd and you're gonna ask him probably during the surgery, maybe he's gonna say something like that, and maybe he's gonna, you know, mention. But again, very unlikely they're gonna tell you, because look, everyone wants to have a good reputation. Nobody wants to tell that they're messing up somewhere. And transactions, somewhat of a mess up, you know, which is again normal. We're all human beings. It's impossible to see what's under the skin. Under the skin, maybe the graft is growing this way, and then it's just some transaction, you know, with a punch. So look, I wouldn't worry too much about it, as long as you're going to a good place. So number one priority, just research the hell out of, you know, places you're thinking about considering, and make sure the doctor knows what he's doing. Bottom line, and that's it. It's been 3 months after I had my transplants. Can you show me 3 months hair results after your first transplant? Thanks. Okay, let's do it. And I have another case that I'm gonna react, but let me just 3 months, say, huh? Okay, let's go. Where I gonna see it? Actually, maybe we can see it on my YouTube channel. It's gonna be a better way, easier to find. Bear with me. Bear with me. I've got so many videos, it's best of luck finding them. And for whatever reason, it doesn't want to go to my channel. Come on, YouTube. Stop being so slow. What the hell? I guess we're just gonna try to do it with the pictures. Okay, 2020. So 3 months was end of March, beginning of April. Let's see what I have. You know what? I don't have don't have a lot of pictures. That's the problem. I've got loads of videos, but not pictures. There you go. I found something. So that's a picture of me, roughly 3 months after my first transplant. I'm outside and my hair looks a bit, you know, blondish. That's me, I promise you. So this area was transplanted. As you can see, it's quite red. It's clearly defined by the redness. And yeah, what can I say? At this stage, there was no really growth at all, if any. And that's how normally it is. So, you know, most of the hairs will shed, but some of it won't. So if you see all around here a bit thicker, darker hairs, these are transplanted hairs. They just didn't shed and they continue growing after the surgery, but it's a vast minority, maybe like 5% of them, 10%. So yeah, it's really nothing. So 3 months, nothing is happening, unfortunately, at this stage. But that being said, from month 4, if I'm just gonna try to find some pictures maybe. From month 4, that's when you start seeing something happening. Let me just try to find some comparable picture. Oh, actually, you know what? There you go. I'll have some video. Boom. There you go. That was me end of April, so that's nearly 4 months. I must admit, I look like an absolute freak. Yeah, still redness. There's even some pimples and stuff like that. Just super thin, but you can kind of see some, like the hairs, they start coming through. All of the small thin hairs that are transplanted, of course, and they start coming through on whatever is not. So it's either native hair or it's a transplanted that didn't shed, you know, after the surgery, essentially. Yeah, that was, yeah, man. Like, come on, look at this, and then look at me now. It's crazy, isn't it? And bear in mind, I've got a couple of harsh lights here, so it actually looks worse than it is. Then you can actually see it looks better in real life. Yeah, so there you go. Hopefully that kind of gave some perspective, so-called. Let me go to one more person. So the guy called Tim, he sent me as well some pictures. Let me see. Let me see what we got. Tim. Right. So email. There you go. So we got Tim here. Okay, maybe, you know what? Maybe I'm not gonna be showing this. Let's do it this way. There you go. That's his picture. And let me just read through what he sent in the email. So, currently on dutasterate, 0.5 milligrams, and minoxidil oral 5 milligrams. Had a consultation with a reputable doctor, and they said 1,000 grafts for the crown and 2,000 for the hairline. Hairline design shown FUE or FUT, my choice. I'm 29 with family history of Norwood 5s, but hair has not gotten worse since started medication almost 5 years ago. Man, well done. If you have like Norwood 5s, basically the whole top is bald like I was, in your family, and you managed to stop it for like 5 years with no any further signs, that's just such a freaking massive win. It just shows, like, look, the earlier you catch your hair loss with medications, the better. It's just gonna stop right there. That's it. And then you just fill in the thin spots. That's it. You call it a day, you win. You win. So right, okay. So yeah, well done for that. Crown photo is harsh lighting, doesn't look like that bad with styling. plus regular lighting. My donor is average caliber and density. What are your thoughts on this quote? So 1000 in the crown, 2000. Okay, so 3000 grafts in general. Okay, so 1000 in the crown. Well, the crown, to be honest, is not that small. Well, to be fair, look, you have a lot of it. Like you mentioned, there is a very harsh light, and you have a lot of hair. So obviously, with a harsh light, it can look worse. You still have a lot of hair. You said you're on minoxidil. I wonder how long you've been on that oral minoxidil. If you're currently in the chat, just drop a message. And by the way, Dream Game Studio 69, where are you from? I'm from Lithuania, the country of Lithuania. Right, so yeah, big crown, to be honest. So, but again, maybe 1000 grafts. I would probably say more, but the 1000 graft can really go a long way. So again, if it's done by a really good doctor, which sounds like it might be, if they're doing both FET and FE, that's usually a good sign nowadays, believe it or not. Yeah, that might be just about enough. And then, yeah, the donor is set average density, average caliber. It looks, I must say, it looks on the thinner side. It looks like mine, the hair caliber itself, but again, the hair is a bit long, longer, so you cannot estimate the density, but it doesn't look too bad. Yeah, average is good. Averages are not bad. You can extract a lot of it. So, but whether you should go for FET or FE, it's a really good question, because small, relatively small surgery. Do you want to get a linear scar and potentially some laxity issues, and then maybe other things that comes with the FET, or just get a FE? It's done well. It's up to you, and essentially at the end of the day. But okay, that's the hairline. All right. So 2000 grafts in the hairline. Okay, so that will be pretty decent result. Yeah, that's gonna be packed. Because again, you have quite a lot of hair, and the hairline doesn't look too aggressive, so it looks like will be jam-packed in there just to match your native density. Yeah, if it's done properly, yeah, you're gonna look great. Huh? Look, you know what people normally would say? This hairline is too receded. It doesn't look great, isn't it? But if you look from another angle, does it look too receded here? It looks pretty straight to me. Just another thing to kind of think about. Yeah, I think it's appropriate design. It's not too low, not too aggressive. The area is not, in the front at least, not that big. The crown looks, to be honest, bigger. But again, maybe it's just the picture doesn't do its justice. But like I said, if it's done by a good doctor, it can absolutely just transform you to the point that you're like, wow, I'm happy with this. Oh, Tim Foley, you've been in the chat. So 3 years of oral minoxidil, 2.5 milligrams. 1 year on 5 milligram. Crown improved a bit from the crown picture, about a year-old photo. Okay, well, that's great. And that's what I wanted to know, because oral minoxidil, in this case, can do absolute wonders. But it's not going to be life-changing. Like, for example, in my case, it improved slightly. My crown, and that's why I tried to avoid to have a second surgery as well, believe it or not, and actually third one, but yeah, it didn't do much. So yeah, yeah, if you've been already for so long on the medications, then second logical step, next logical step is hair transplant. That being said, just be absolutely careful what you're going to. Just please don't, you have a good start and keep at it. Because if you mess up with the transplants, it's going to be such a setback, massive step back, that you will have to be catching up, and then you never know, maybe medication will stop for whatever reason working and stuff like that. So, potential doctor Ted Milne. Okay, well, that's not a bad, that one, I assume you're in the UK then. Yeah, Ted Milne is not a bad choice. Yeah, that's great. Look, another thing I would suggest, just get more opinions. Don't just go with the first whatever you saw. Speak to more doctors. Plenty of doctors. Like, look, nowadays you can get free consultation online with most clinics, doctors. So take advantage of it. That's what I always say. Just get 10, 20, 30, 50 quotes from a good clinics, and see what I say, because once you're gonna gather this data, you're gonna have a very good understanding, because you know every doctor gonna say their opinion, you might have your opinion, but if 30 doctors gonna say something similar, all of them together, that's probably what you need, you know. So yeah, just take advantage of that, definitely. I've been to 4 doctors in person, 4 on the web call. Well, that's not bad. 8, that's a good start. When I was researching, it was like hundreds, so yeah. I'm a little bit more ahead than you, but yeah, well, look, at least you're, you know, it sounds like you're getting in touch with a good one, so I can only commend you that, because yeah, over 90% of people, they just don't give a crap. They just go into the first clinic they see, get destroyed, and then what do? How do I repair it? And then, oh, sorry, cannot repair it. Right, Yellow Flash, I have a question. At how many months will my hair transplant explode? Well, hopefully never. I am on month 2, week 3 post-operation. Thanks for your advice. So, as I just discussed a bit earlier, so from my experience, my case, but also seeing like hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands already at this point, people. Yeah, first 3 months, expect nothing. First 3 months, absolutely zero growth. And actually, I would go a step further. The first 4 months, expect nothing. If something will start happening around 4-month mark, it's a great thing. If not, like, you know, it's fine. And then at month 5, that's when you should start seeing some major things happening, a lot of hair sprouting through, growing already, some, you know, doubles, triples, quads even. And month 6, 7, they become darker, longer, thicker, and they, you know, start covering the scalp essentially. And by month 7, 8, you should have a really good kind of idea where you're heading. It's not gonna be, you know, end result, definitely not, but it will give a really good indication of how the end result will look like in a couple of months. So in my estimations, at around 8 months, that's usually your like 80% of your results. Meaning, like probably at this stage gonna be all of the grafts that will, you know, sprout through because of transplant already gonna be, you know, there. And it's just gonna be a matter of fact whether them becoming thicker, growing longer, and stuff like that, and overall maturing. So yeah, that's basically what you can expect. Yeah, in terms of literal word explode, I would say between month 4 and 6. That would be roughly the timeline. I've actually done one video where I've quite old one actually, but it's still relevant. It's just the YouTube keeps promoting it. Where I literally analyzed my own one month by month, and just to give an educated guess on the timeline, it might be a very good thing to see. Let me just find it. Actually, I've done quite a few of them. Bear with me. Actually, no. Let me just go to the most popular ones. Can I just share? Oh. Fine. So this one is a good one. So nice. Anyways, month 1, then okay, that's a bit too quick. Month 2, month 3, and I'm comparing this essentially to the hair growth, this like table basically that's been circling around the web. Yeah, back then. There you go, 5 months. So that's how it looked. Month 4, already growth happening. Month 5, even more. Then month 6, already getting thicker. You know, month 7 looks already great, already covering so much. Month 8, hold on, is that month 8? That's not month 8. There you go, that's month 8. Already literally getting longer. So, you know, yeah, that's essentially. Or there you go. Hey, that's the first one. Yay. That was a good video actually, yeah. Just the same thing, the whole year, month by month. So yeah, go check these videos out. Hopefully they're gonna give you some ideas how it can potentially look. And yeah, Mr. Rolandas. Could you name a couple of good surgeons here besides Ferreira, based on your experience and your research on the subject? Here you mean where? As of right now, the live stream. Where do I start? Actually, I know where I start. I keep forgetting because, you know, I've got a nice list piled on that I've done it like ages ago, but nonetheless still relevant. There you go. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Spain, you got Lorenzo, Dr. Villa, Dr. De Freitas. Belgium, Dr. Bisanga, Dr. Alpanzula, Dr. Ferreduni. Portugal, you got Dr. Ferreira, Dr. Pinto. Cyprus, you got Dr. Maras. Switzerland, you got Hattinger, so Dr. Morsana. Turkey, we got Dr. Demirsoy, HLC, Dr. Pekiner, Dr. Bitzer, Dr. Turan, Dr. Gur. India, Dr. Batid, Sunitsoni, Eugenics, Greece, Dr. Anastasakis. UK, Dr. A, Dr. Bob. There you go. Nice and short. Obviously, the list is, you know, a bit outdated. There is so many more names that I should have put, you know, into that magic list. But yeah, there is loads of, you know, one of my recent favorites is Eugenics. Man, their results, freaking amazing. Just look at their, you know, Instagram. So natural, so like, it's just incredible, you know. So, you know, there's just loads of, you know, good doctors. Go on Hair Restoration Network forum and do research there. There's plenty of people just posting results. You're gonna see loads of names. Just gonna be thrown left, right, all kinds of names, and just start researching. Start looking at the results and see what you like, what you don't like, stuff like that. Yeah, there are dozens, hundreds. Avoid hair transplant factors. There you go. Mark Jones. Good words. Yellow Flash, thank you so much. You really put my mind at ease. That's great. So, right. So let's see what there is. Someone else sent me any emails. I had some more. Okay, that's not a personal account, so we can share this. It's a very interesting name. Racing Car Network. After 1 year hair transplant, before and after. Okay, let's see. So, okay. Don't want to be too, you know, too obvious, but obviously hold on, you guys cannot see it fully. You know what? Let me just do it this way. Let's do it this way. Come on. There you go. So that's obviously before the transplant. Okay, well, it looks like a Norwood 3 at least, but again, cannot see much. Ooh, okay, Norwood 5A. Like me, a bit better, because the crown... So Norwood 5A doesn't expand the crown, the mid scalp doesn't really expand as well, but yeah, all around from the crown to the hairline. But the dawn looks great, man, the dawn looks amazing. Okay, so I assume that's some transplanted... Anyways, what I wanted to say is this. There's two actually. Even from that's the first picture I've seen, and look, it looks alright. It looks great. You know, you have hair, you can style it, nice. Doesn't look too bad from this perspective, but you know, I can clearly see it's a transplant just because two things. So first of all, the hairline is like very straight. I can literally draw a line. Can I zoom in more? It doesn't work this way. Okay. Yeah, I can kind of draw the line, and here especially, like, it's just implanted a bit too straight. So for a better, more natural result should have been a bit more kind of irregularities in the transplant, like in implantation. So it should have to be a bit more staggered. This is a bit, you know, that's not how essentially in nature hair grows. If you look at the people who have no hair loss, that's not how it looks. So that's number one. Second one, it looks like there's quite a few multiple hair crafts in the hairline. So doubles, triples, I can see already, even maybe even more. Here, even with this quality, look here, it looks like something like a triple hair graft in the very, very front. And there's like quite a bit. You can kind of see they bunching up together. So again, that's not, you know, ideal for the hairline, just because again, in nature, usually very soft, fine single hairs, you know, implanted in the very front. Does that, but your hair, well, it's not the thinnest, but it's not the thickest. But it overall, look, I must say, overall, it doesn't look too bad. It looks okay. You can style it. It looks, you know, a mile better than it was before. And there was another picture. That's, yeah. So I wonder, did you have like a one transplant just in the front? Hold on, after 1 year before, okay. So was it only one transplant in the front? Was it a little bit, or it was all around? It might be just a little bit sprinkled in the crown, but most focus in the front. As it should, of course, that's what I've done. And yeah, looks pretty decent density. You can definitely get away with this. Yeah, of course, that's some, you know, not the best for analyzing some pictures, but yeah, look, looks better than it was, for sure. But it could have been better. You know, there's obviously the connection between the temple and, you know, temple and the hairline. That's a very difficult area to recreate, you know, with a natural kind of way, the way it grows and stuff like that. But yeah, nonetheless, if you want to make it even better, find a really good doctor who knows these little details, and you can just literally implant some more, a bit lower, so like some singles, and just gonna be it. Really, I don't think it's, you know, requires so much work to make it, you know, much better, to be honest. Because again, the hairline is not super low, it's not super high. It's okay. It looks nice. What was there else? My name is Mario. Done transplant in Turkey 2 years ago, about 3,900 grafts. Hold on, 3,900 grafts. Ooh, they went a long way. That's some more pictures. Yeah, well, okay, yeah, you see, so clearly it's just way too straight, like it's very straight. Another thing, implantations, so they're not too bad, but you can kind of see, so it was done by via pre-made incision, so they making the holes and then they implanting with forceps. How I can tell? Because it's just everything in rows. You see, it's plenty of rows and rows and rows here, kind of draw lines the way they're implanted. That's how normally they just, when the doctor comes in or whoever is doing it, they just like make the holes. Not ideal, you know. With implantation, you have to be careful because you have to match the correct angle to make it look better and stuff like that. But yeah, what else? It looks like your hair was actually progressed even further because these areas were a bit thicker. So my question would be, are you on medication? Because you should absolutely be on finasteride. Because even if it's a Norwood 5, there is a potential to go to Norwood 6. And we can see there is miniaturization all around here, so it's definitely going into Norwood 6 in the future. Shit. Okay, yeah, the donor could have received a bit more love, I guess. Yeah, just been extracted a bit too much. Is there any more pictures of the donor? Yeah, so again, the angles, as I mentioned just earlier. Because they're rushing so much to do so many grafts in a row. You see the angles? They're kind of pointing up, kind of. You know, in the very front, the hairline has to be pretty flat. It has to grow almost like kind of down, like around 10 to 15 degrees. While this, it looks almost like 90 degrees from the skin. Maybe a bit less. It's, you know, it's not the best way to do it. It's gonna stand out. It's gonna be a bit more obvious. Okay, yeah. Shit, that looks really rough. When you said 3,900 grafts, man, that looks like they just hammered it. Hold on, are they extracted from here as well? Yeah, it is. So, are there any more pictures? No, that's it. I don't know, it's not very clear, but it's possible they went with the extractions all the way here because it looks like a bit dark, like a reddish skin color and looks a bit patchier here. If they went all the way up there to extract, that's your whorl of the crown. This is too high. This area, in your case, definitely not the safe zone. So this will miniaturize, especially if you're not on medication. And if anything, well, maybe it wasn't extracted. Maybe it's just a pattern, but it looks much thinner. But I don't know. Maybe it was extracted. It looks pretty patchy. Excuse me. Yeah. So, okay, we see this, how the donor looks now. That would be my question, because the donor before transplant looked really good. Like, really nice and thick, just loads of grafts. And it's a shame after just 3,900 grafts, just donor looks really Like if they've taken much more than this. Again, it's not about, you know, bragging or anything, but I'm just gonna show how my one looked like after, well, how many I had? 3,659 grafts after my first surgery. Obviously done by a very good doctor. So these were the extractions spaced out. So it might look like it went pretty high, but actually not. That's not the crown. The crown is all the way there. It's just the angle of the picture doesn't really do it justice. Let me see. There you go. Maybe this picture. There you go. So the whorl is here. So that's the Norwood 6 zone would be roughly here. So it's not even touching Norwood 6. And I know this because look, I've got a scar, and that scar is at the back. You see how high the scar is? That's a different scar right now. Look, all the way there. You kind of identify what it is. So yeah, anyways, the extractions, they're quite spaced in between. Look how much hair is in between each extraction. And they spaced out quite evenly, so it's not just from one small area, it's you know, thinned out quite, you know, all around. That's some from the side view. Hold on, there you go. And it might look rough just because of the angle of extraction. The holes are actually smaller than they are. The punch size was only 0.8 and 0.85 millimeter, which is pretty standard. And look, that's actually from the day before, so that was 2 days surgery, already healed up. But yeah, there is a lot of hairs in between, loads of it to cover it, so it's nicely spaced out, thus preventing this. This could have been avoided if they would taken less, essentially, you know, from a given area. So that's sad. But yeah, I would really be curious to see how it looks right now, the donor especially, because okay, the front, you know, well, it grew some hair, it looks okay, you can style it, that's great, you can make small touch-up, a few hundred grafts, spinner, place all around, thing, gonna look a mile better when it comes to hairline. But yeah, the donor, man, it just shit, it's a bit rough. But hopefully, look, it might be a shock loss, so maybe after like a year or whatever it grow better. What do I know? So hopefully that's the case. Rena Rocket gave me $2. Thank you very much, my friend. Do you wish you started with an FUT? Well, interesting question. It's not that I wish. I was planning to start with FUT. And the reason I didn't start with FUT is because I couldn't find a doctor who was within my budget. Believe it or not, I'm not rich. I'm just a normal human being like you and I, like any of us. And I had a tight budget. I had to find a doctor within my budget. So long story short, I was set on certain doctor in Turkey. Then I decided I need to up my quality. And then the quality is gonna cost more money. And then I decided for another year to save up more money. And whatever I saved for this time frame already, that's basically, you know, there's no point saving anymore. And there was no FUT doctors at that time who could do it in my budget. So which was maximally 2.5 grafts, 2.5 euro per graft, which Dr. Ferrer was charging. So I couldn't find any FUT doctor, and obviously everyone was doing FUE. So I decided to go with FUE, and look, you know, thank God turned out well. I had 7,000 grafts, over 7,000, nearly 8,000 grafts actually via FUE, and it still looks great. Look at my donor. Yeah, still after so many extractions, you know, because it's done right, it looks still pretty decent. That being said, my donor is, you know, way too good, but that's another subject. So yes, hopefully that answered your question. And actually, if you're curious, I've posted a video with again Dr. Mursan, so I've done 2 videos with them recently on my channel, where I've asked them, because they're doing both FUE and FUT, I've asked them what do they think if I, after having nearly 8,000 grafts via FUE, I can still have an FUT. And they said yes. Looking at my donor, they said, look, your donor is so great, you can absolutely have it. The problem is it's not gonna be as big, as effective, let's say, because already been taking out so much via FUE. I'm gonna show you now. There you go, as an example. That's hold on. That was my third surgery. There you go. So third transplant, and that's after the third transplant. So that's how my donor looked like. So still quite a bit of hairs all around. You can, you know, there is, so even let's say if you would, you know what, let me show you, because from the back, if you see, it's not really that many extractions, just literally sprinkled all around. It was a small surgery, to be fair. It's like 1,000 something grafts. But let me show you the pictures. Just before my, there you go. That was me before my third transplant. So still really thick donor, still a lot of hair. So you can take a decent strip FUT from here, and you can, so Dr. Murasano, just from eyeballing from the pictures what I showed him, he said you probably can have 2,500 3,000 grafts from one FUT, no problem. Yeah, there you go, still quite a bit of hairs. So, you know, I can still do it. It's not like, you know, I'm not, you know, not complaining or anything, but yeah, it is possible. It is possible. I have a surgery scheduled with Dr. Ferreira in August. Well done. Good luck. You're in a really good and capable hands. Good for you. Is getting FUT for the bulk of the work and then having an artist like Bruno touch up the hairline. Why don't you do FUT with an artist to begin with? I mean, Dr. Bruno Ferreira is excellent surgeon, amazing. That's why I went there 3 times. But he's not the only amazing and excellent surgeon and artist. There's plenty of others. That being said, of course, not everyone is doing FUTs nowadays. But as an example, again, I don't know why I keep mentioning them, just because I had an interview recently. Dr. Murasano in Hattingen in Switzerland. They do still both FUT and FUE. So, and their hairlines are freaking amazing. So they might be the right, you know, choice. Because good artistry, good extractions, they know how to do FUT. Why not? Then there is another one in, obviously, Hassan Wong. Everyone knows them. They've been doing it for ages. Amazing FUT. So, you know, but nowadays it's very difficult to find doctors who are doing FUT. So, you know, yeah. Mark Jones, brother, don't get hair greedy. You're young. Yeah, look, I didn't even want to do, well, I wasn't planning to do a third surgery, to be honest. So, there you go. What can I say? Here we are. Oh, Yellow Flash, thanks so much for the $5 contribution to the channel. Thanks again for your input. I really appreciate it. Glad you find it helpful and useful, and best of luck to you. Celebrate the first super chat. Oh, is that super chat? Didn't even know this kind of what these things even do. Okay, anyways. Joe Tao, I broke my pencil lead when I was copying the first name of the list. Could you repeat that? Just kidding. Thanks, you great work, bro. I really appreciate it. Sorry, I had to go very quickly. I've heard Wong's work has fallen off. His technicians do the work. Well, you know, and that's the thing. And that's why you have to keep up to date. You have to research yourself. Because, look, all of this, you know, good standing names, they were great. It doesn't mean they are still great. I'm not saying they're not, but like... What's this? Okay. You know, people change. I've seen some doctors, certainly, that were amazing, but then they just got tired doing surgery. They just outsourcing, they're just giving to technicians to do some more work, and you know, quality is obviously not gonna be the same. So, you know, yeah, just be careful. Look, just stay up to date. Don't fall for the, like, I gave you a list of names that are, you know, probably like 3-year-old already. I didn't update that list forever, like 4 even years probably. So, you know, there's many more great names, but and even those that I mentioned, they might not be as great anymore nowadays because of the same reason. So just, you know, keep researching, keep doing the research, and look at the results, current results, not what happened, you know, a couple of years, because in a couple of years everything can change dramatically. So, and I think, yeah, I think that's about it. I didn't get any more emails, I believe. So, okay, there's someone else. Shall I now? Okay, let's do it quickly, I guess. Just one last one. Cannot go through all of them. Okay, so we got some pictures. His name is Jesus. I'm not even joking. Jesus. Hair transplant pics for analysis. Okay. Hey bro, what do you think of my hair transplant? 1,300 grafts plus or minus. Before and after. Okay, well, small surgery. Yeah, okay. So first, what I think about the hairline. Let me just go back. It's receding a little bit. All around, but it's not terrible, to be honest. My first question would be, are you on medication? That's the most important question, to be honest. You shouldn't be really jumping on the, on the transplant. But if you've been on finasteride, maybe even minoxidil, still not satisfied, yeah, I guess you can, get a small transplant. Okay, hairline. So I assume that's about it. 1,300 grafts in that small area. It's not even like lower dramatically. Not that it needs lower, by the way. Just look, you can see the wrinkles already right here. So that's about as long as you can, as you can get. But that's a lot of grafts for such a small area, unless it was done in the crown somewhere. It looks a bit like some holes. It might be just the light, to be fair. Oh, there it doesn't show. Yeah, it might be just the light, but it looks like, yeah, some pitting going on, like pits. Well, but hopefully gonna grow better. But 1.5 months after. So hold on. So what do I think about his transplant? So that was 1 week after, and that's 1.5. So okay, at 1.5 months, obviously it's way too early. There's nothing happening at this stage. I mean, to be fair, look, we can see already some hairs coming through, but that's just a hair that didn't shed. So yeah, don't expect anything for the next, I would say 3 months. The next 3 months, zero growth. If something gonna happen, great. If no, look, that's normal. But after month 4, 5, 6, that's when you're gonna start seeing majority of the bulk of growth happening, and that's what you should be aiming for. If you want to, my honest opinion, the only thing that kind of, well, the second thing already said the first thing, that the pitting. The second thing that catches my eye is the hairline itself. It looks a little too straight to my liking, because like you can see the holes where it's been. Let me try to see if I hold on. Let me just do it this way. I'll download this and I'll open this, and there you go. That should be better. Right, so what I'm trying to say, you can kind of see the holes. Well, you can clearly see the holes where the implantations were, Judging by that, to me, it looks like the hairline was a bit too straight, if it makes sense. Again, the same thing like before, not enough, micro irregularities when it comes to implantation to make it a bit more natural. That would be a kind of, the only thing. But again, it's not, it's way too early to even say anything. Oh, look, it's double graft here. Too early to say really anything. It's nothing. As whenever the hair will start coming through, that's when we can start looking and analyzing and seeing how it is. For now, it's early days. Just stay the course. Make sure to stay outside this, outside the sun. Don't get into the direct sun, because this redness that you still have in the hairline, this redness can persist and can stay indefinitely if you're gonna be on a direct sun for long periods of time. So wear a hat or try to stay in the shade as much as you can. Yeah, for the first, I would suggest 3 months, 6 months even, or whenever the redness is gonna disappear. And yeah, let's see how we're gonna grow. Make sure to update me, send me another email. We can review this on another live stream at some point in the future, and we can compare side by side, see how it goes, and hopefully gonna turn out great, and you're gonna be happy with this. And hopefully that's gonna be it then for you. So I guess that's it, guys, for this live stream. Just gonna... are you wearing braces? Your looks maxing for sure. I'm not. I'm actually wearing aligners. It's Invisalign. So I started earlier this year, back in January. So yeah, I had a massive crooked one tooth. It was completely up there. Changed a little bit structure of my face, I guess. So my smile. So that's great. Looks maxing. I wouldn't go to this extreme. I'm not doing anything. I just take care of my face, face skin, and that, aligners. That's about it. So yeah, anyways, thanks again, guys, for joining to this live stream. Feel free to drop some more comments in the section down below. Once this live stream gonna finish, I'm gonna go and answer to as many as I can, as always. And make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I shall see you guys in the next video. All right? Peace out.